Skylanders is one of my favorite franchises ever. It was my childhood and I still love playing the game. One game I didn't grow up with was Imaginators. I didn't end up playing the game since I grew out of it at that time and started playing other games. But I first played Skylanders Imaginators back in 2021 and I was shocked at how awful it really was. You probably guessed it, in today's video we'll be talking about how Skylanders Imaginators is my least favorite in the franchise. First of all, let's talk about what Skylanders Imaginators is. Skylanders Imaginators was the 6th installment in the franchise, released in 2016 with a whole new roster and story. Don't worry, we'll be talking about these later. The game has two gimmicks, the Senseis and Creation Crystals. That's right, Skylanders finally allowed us to create our own Skylanders. Senseis are allowed to go through Sensei shrines that act like element gates from prior games, and also gong battles, which are just mini arenas that give XP coins and Imaginite chests after completion. Before we talk about the mountains of bad this game has, let's talk about the good things it does have. First of all, the roster isn't really that bad. Skylanders like Tidepool, Ambush, and even Crash Bandicoot and every other Skylander from Imaginators has such a great design. Toys for Bob really peaked with designing characters this year. The combat is the best it's ever been, even adding a brand new Sky Chi move to the Senseis. This one ultimate attack that charges up when enemies are killed. And lastly, Crash Bandicoot was added. I'm quite a huge fan of Crash Bandicoot and this was so peak. And that's pretty much every good thing I could think of. Now onto the bad. The graphics are a huge downgrade from the previous game Superchargers. Like, how could you go from peak Superchargers nice looking graphics to this? But this isn't so bad since the game is still nice looking and I can let Toys for Bob off since they were working with a new engine at this point. I'm pretty sure everyone has tried playing as an older Skylander from an older game to see how they feel and play. Or you can't. Well, you actually can, but just know every Skylander from previous games were nerfed around 40%. Everyone does pea shooter damage and it's just not fun to play. I guess this was a way to get the players to buy more Senseis, sort of like a money grab. This goes into my third point of why Skylanders Imaginators is bad. This game feels like a money grab. I'm pretty sure Activision knew when Superchargers sadly didn't sell much, they knew they had a franchise that was going to be crashing down to earth at some point, which it did, so they decided to purposely nerf older Skylanders to sell more Senseis and Creation Crystals. Also, why did they try to resell and repackage older Skylanders that were nerfed? I guess that shows my point of why this game feels like a cash grab. Oh, and I totally forgot, when Imaginators first released, they had Imaginite chest blind bags. This was 2016 where everything had to be in blind bags for some reason. These blind bags gave you a chance of getting a bronze, silver, or gold chest, which included 9 creation pieces, which you could literally play the game and get them for free. Also, the creation crystals weren't resettable. I'm pretty sure kids don't have money unless you're Elon Musk's son. The only way to play as a new battle class was buying a new creation crystal to try that class out. I guess this is Toys to Life and the whole genre is a money grab, but just try to make it less obvious. This isn't a huge issue, but the lack of collectibles like hats, wings, sapphires, and story scroll. I guess these were replaced with the item frames, but these made the games feel more familiar and iconic, which I liked about the others. Skylanders Imaginators, in my opinion, feels the least Skylanders feeling game in the franchise. One of my favorite things going from Giants to SWAT Force was the jump button and seeing how older Skylanders looked in HD, and playing them for a good duration because they were good to play as. I guess this is sort of placed into the older Skylanders were nerfed part, but I just like playing as older Skylanders. I just don't want to be playing as the Senseis all the time. I guess what I'm trying to get at is Imaginators has the lack of innovation compared to the rest. The Giants to SWAT Force leap was huge. Making your own Skylanders is a cool idea that everyone wanted, including me, but they didn't use the gimmick to its fullest potential. At a point, playing as your own Skylander gets way too boring since they're so OP. They could have limited the level cap and power to be less than the Senseis, since the Senseis are the most powerful Skylanders to exist, but they aren't because of the Skylander you can create. Skylanders Imaginators, just like Trap Team, uses completely stock music and remixes. Unlike the previous game, Superchargers had an original OST. In my opinion, music in Skylanders has a big impact on how good or mediocre the game is, and how memorable the game will be. I'm pretty sure everyone wants to listen to some incredible final boss fight music, but instead you get this crappy stock dubstep that just sucks. The game is way too childish. I get it, Skylanders is supposed to be for kids, that's what Activision's target audience was, but the older games actually had some humor that anyone could enjoy. Most of the levels are generic, or just outright bad. Trap Team is far from perfect, but some of the levels are some of the best in the series. But Imaginators has no original levels, and with stock music is a purgatory to get through. The only good levels are the expansion packs, which most people nowadays won't get to experience, only if they don't want to spend over 600 for both Robo and Wildstorm. Even the boss fights in this game are bland and easily the worst in the series. The game just throws constant Doomlander fights in most levels, which are just not fun. The Chaos boss fight feels like a bootleg Ultimate Chaos boss fight from Trap Team, which is actually amazing compared to the one in Imaginators. The Chaos boss fight literally just throws even more Doomlander boss fights in your face. Easily the worst Chaos boss fight. The story is dreadful, coming from Superchargers that had the best story compared to the rest. The story from Imaginators retcons and practically ignores everything that happened in Superchargers. The story tries to be like the Netflix show Skylanders Academy, with having Spyro and the other Skylanders being the main NPCs, which breaks the immersion of Skylanders. NPC stands for non-playable character, yet you could be playing as Spyro speaking to Spyro. Cake missions. Holy, these were bad. Why would I want to bake a cake in a Skylanders game? Basically forcing players to extend the game's runtime hunting for cake parts. What happened from going from a deep, dark story to making a cake? I guess my final point is the dreadful music choice for the credits. Kinda funny completing this mediocre game and then getting slapped in the face with a Skylanders boy and girl song in the credits. Anyways, what's everyone's thoughts about Skylanders Imaginators? Do you agree with these points or do you disagree? If so, please let me know in the comments. Thank you all for watching and definitely subscribe if you're new around here. I'll see you all in my next video.
Boy and girl are stronger in this zone.
Your back's against the wall up in the brawl.
Use your imagination.
I got the power of the crystal that they call.
Creation.
If you can think, you can make it. We got the power and no one can break it. Portal masters, get up in this fight and bring your imagination to life so I can make a snowman.